This one is an appeal to my two senators, Bernie Sanders and Patrick Leahy, to have their best economic people take a look at the bill that Dennis Kucinich has just submitted for consideration, H.R. 6550, what I'm going to call the Monetary Reform Act, but the name of it is actually...
It's actually called the National Employment Emergency Defense Act of 2010. That's what it's actually called, people.
Particularly, Mr. Sanders, I think this would appeal to you. As a Vermonter, I know and have been well aware of your opinions about the direction that our society is going in terms of a disparity of wealth. You seem to me to be the obvious person to be the first sponsor of this bill for the U.S. Senate, and we need a sponsor in the U.S. Senate. And I believe if you had your best people read this bill, you would understand that this is a very important means to achieve some of the ends that you were stressing in your filibuster, your heroic filibuster just last week over the so-called compromise tax bill, where you were hammering on the increase in the disparity of income. Things like the top 1% of income earners earn 25%, 23% of the income or something like that.
Right.
Well, this bill addresses all of those issues at the most fundamental level, we believe, at the monetary system level. And I just want to read one quote about from the bill that describes the dilemma that we're in today from a fiscal point of view, that your whole riff on the tax compromise was getting to many of these same issues. I mean, if the wealthiest 2% get this tax break extended, which it looks like is going to happen, that's going to mean that we have to borrow $700 billion more over the next 10 years than we need to otherwise, okay? Just for that extension of that tax break. So I think you'll see the relevance of this. The country is stymied by competing forces, a desire to put people to work and an aversion to borrowing money to create programs to do so. That's the dilemma we're in. And this bill, this is the magic bullet. As I said in the last video, it seems too good to be true. Joe, can you say a little bit and read from the bill about how this addresses Bernie's concerns?
Yeah, I mean, it recognizes Congress's responsibility to act and to promote our national economy to reach its potential and to do so in an equitable manner. That's the beauty, really, of the bill.
Well, and to do so through the monetary system.
Through the system, through the reform of the monetary system primarily. After laying out all of those reasons, Bernie and Senator Leahy, why we have so much injustice, socioeconomic injustice in this country, and what the reality of that is going on with the findings. The aforementioned conditions require comprehensive action by the United States Congress to create full employment, invest in America, and secure our nation's long-term economic, social, and political future, and that such action is within our constitutional right and responsibility. It's really key to recognize that the actions that are needed at this point in time rest constitutionally with the Congress. This proposal goes on to cite the fact that we created the Congress to have the authority to create money, and then we created the Federal Reserve Act and ceded Congress's right to create money to the private financial industry. And then it says, the ceding of constitutional power has contributed materially to a multiple of monetary and financial afflictions, including a growing and unreasonable concentration of wealth, an unbridled expansion of national debt, both public and private, excessive reliance on taxation of citizens for raising public revenues, the inflation of the currency, drastic increases in the cost of public infrastructure investments, record levels of unemployment and underemployment, and persistent erosion of the ability of Congress to exercise its constitutional responsibility to provide resources for the general welfare of all American people. The next finding states, A debt-based monetary system where money comes into existence primarily through private bank lending can neither create nor sustain a stable economic environment, but has proven to be a source of chronic financial instability and frequent crises, as evidenced by the near collapse of the financial system in 2008. Goes on to talk about why we need to change that, why we need to reverse it. But the last finding that I think is relevant to doing what Pete has suggested is this. As our money system is a key pillar in maintaining general economic welfare, and as the Federal Reserve System and its private banking partners have consistently failed to promote or preserve that general welfare, it is essential that Congress, in the name of protecting the economic lives of the American people and the long-term security of our nation, reassume the powers and responsibility granted to it by the Congress. And basically, that's what this act is proposing to do, and that's what Pete and I are asking you to do.
The request is for you guys to have your best economic people and your worst economic people read this bill, and then I'd love it if you would get back to us and tell us why you think this bill does not promote the economic democracy that you both seem to and want to create. Because we think it would do a great job of advancing economic democracy in this country.
We appeal to you to do so. We appeal to you.
So thanks for taking the time to watch this video, and we'll be looking forward to hearing back from you.
Salute, Pete.